All right, welcome back to the Romans 12:2 Experience radio show live here on Philly Hot Radio on the Romans 12:2 Facebook page and also Instagram Live, Levon 1021. My guest is here. Her name is Akilah Beasley. That's how I say it.
Yes.
Akilah Beasley. So how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Before we get into your conversation about more who you are and what you're doing for the community that help many others, So I wanted to ask you, what are you thankful for, and what makes Akilah Beasley great?
That's a good question. Well, I want to answer the first question. What am I grateful for? I always say that I'm grateful just for second chances, just a chance to just start over and just to be able to do something with a new point of view or new knowledge. I'm definitely grateful for that. I know in my life I've had some second chances.
Right.
And, I'm just grateful for that. I could say as far as what makes, my brand is definitely the idea of trust. That's something that I really, really, really hold dear to me. So that's something that I really want my brand to be able to do, is just to increase trust, especially for youth and parents. I used to be a teacher, and so my whole mission now that I'm not teaching anymore is just to help pretty much encourage people to have a more trusting relationship with the school and with their communities. I think that that's going to really help people develop in a more positive way, and also give them a chance to get back to their community in a way that's going to be uplifting.
Right. Okay. So I'll go back to your teacher question a little bit. I want to ask you why you stopped teaching. So we'll go back to that. So who was Akilah Beasley growing up?
Oh, goodness. That's a good question. Growing up, I was a very creative child. I actually was a dancer. I did all types of dance, ballet, tap, jazz, African, acrobatics, modern, anything you could think of, we were in those type of lessons. I used to ice skate. I used to do gymnastics. So I was a very physical child. I like physical activities. I like competition.
Right.
I have like a competitive nature. So that was me as a child. Definitely somebody that kind of was seen as a role model. That kind of was a gift and a curse. But, I was seen as that at a very young age, seen as a leader at a very young age. And for me, it was something that was good, like I said, but I didn't always know how to manage it, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So, yeah, as a child, I was just always out there. I was one of those students who I grasped on the information real quick. I pretty much learned really quick, and because of that, I kind of just learned how to just do the bare minimum, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So knowing that about myself growing up, hindsight being 2020 as an adult, now that I'm realizing that that's how I used to be, I had to go through a journey of kind of breaking out of those habits, those bad habits. But I was a very advanced child, very creative child. And I was, like I said, just their role model, always protecting people.
Right.
Always looking out for everybody. Having a bunch of fake cousins, fake sisters, fake family. That was me. Because
right.
I just like having relationships with people.
Okay. So basically we was very active, very creative, very advanced child. So what made you decide to go into teaching? Since you started,
That's a good question. Okay, so I pretty much decided to go to teaching because my mom and my dad were really, really, really big on college. I wasn't necessarily a college type of person. I didn't necessarily want to go. But I did tell myself that if I was going to go for anything, it would be teaching because, for one, I do like learning, and for two,
right.
I always was so critical of my teachers. I know that sounds bad, but I was like, man, if y'all would just do this, or if y'all would just add this, it wouldn't be boring. Or
right, yeah. Especially in time right now,
Right, virtual learning is crazy. These teachers, they really have to be creative now
right.
to keep students engaged. But that's what really made me want to become a teacher. Is like I said, I was highly critical of my teachers. I had some good teachers that were very inspiring. And I feel like if you learn how to teach people, you can pretty much do anything. So I said, look, I don't really want to go to college, but if I'm going to go, I'm going to just go for this.
Right, right. So what school you went to?
I went to a bunch of different schools growing up. I went to Sicilian Academy, Blair Christian Academy. Those are 2 private schools. Mm-hmm. I went to Silas Cohen Elementary School. That's a public school in the Northeast. I went to Houston Elementary School for middle school, and then for high school, I went to Creative and Performing Arts.
Okay, yes. so you say you was a dancer, so you dance and stuff. So what college you went to?
What college did I go to? Well, first I went to Clark Atlanta University. Only went there for a year. Then I went to CCP in Philly, and then I graduated from Temple.
CCP. When did you go to Temple?
I graduated from Temple in 2015, and then I got my master's in 2018.
Okay. So, CCP, so you know someone named Linda Howard?
Linda Howard. That name sounds familiar, but I can't.
So, she worked at registration.
Mm-hmm.
That's my mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I probably do know that.
Yeah, she went to Glasses, Ari Smiling, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's been there, she'll be there 25 years in May.
Okay.
Yeah, so she went to CCP. She went there 8 years because she took part-time because she would take part-time classes in the morning, then come home to be at the school, and then she graduated in 96, the same year I graduated middle school. And CCP, she did an internship with them, and CCP, they hired her. And she started the day after, she graduated Mother's Day. She started CCP the day after graduation. So she's been there 25 years. So the registration, all that stuff. So everybody know my mom there. So
right.
And then with me, I kind of was the same path as you, teaching. So I want to teach kids because I grew up had a speech problem, and somehow told me I had experienced 8th grade where I would work with young grade kids for 1 day a week. And the kids we impacted my life and I getting an award at graduation for I stayed in service. And I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't know what capacity. So I went to Western University, got my degree, and did student teaching at West Philly. And I left. I was prepared. I was unprepared. So I did CDA with 2 years. Started my own initiative, like my own club, like a boys club, and then I did boys and girls club. Just to talk about issues that the schools didn't talk about. So, and then I ended up teaching 3 years. I taught at a private school near from my station, and another private school, Honey Park Academy. So, I taught. Another year I did play works. I was like kind of like a teacher. I did socialized recess, socialized games with all the kids in the school. So I loved it, but I still kind of teach, but not like this now. I kind of like facilitating and just let the kids do the work and just lead by example. So that's a big task, just trying to have my own nonprofit, Patrick Grades about facilitating workshops that the kids generate the discussions, and then I don't do grades. I want them to be a better person and be more aware. So you started teaching. What grade you taught?
It's funny. I taught preschool. I taught Head Start for the Philadelphia School District.
What was that? What was that like?
It was
because a lot of kids have energy, and then teach them how to stay still and how to letters and numbers. What was that? What was that like?
It was crazy. Like, okay, my certification is K through 4th, so I always imagine myself doing like anywhere between 2nd and 4th grade. So it's funny, when I did preschool, I was like, this seems like it's gonna be challenging. I'm like, let me just try this, see what's going on, because that was something that was presented to me when I was going to do my job selection. So I just like, let me go ahead and do this because I like to have a challenge.
Right.
And I went in for pre-K, and it was nothing like what I thought it was gonna be. First of all, you had to put so much thought into it, like just even the basic outline of how you want your class to look and how you want the children to operate within the space, because you want to try to of course, promote independence at an early age so they can build their confidence and stuff like that. So you have to really think about how you're going to set up the environment in order for them to really be independent at their young age. And then as far as how you teach, you have to really go back and realize that you have to like break things down into little steps so that way they can get it. You have to model things, give examples. And these are things that you learn. Of course, you learn these with other grades. But like on the preschool level, it's just heightened because they really are babies. Like they're really babies, especially the ones that come to you when they're 3, because they may have just turned 3, and they're really young. And you also have to find good ways of communicating with the parents, so that way they can know exactly what things to work on outside of just school, and help them with a schedule, help them find strengths and weaknesses, and it may be some early intervention that you may have to discuss with the parents. So I liked it because it pretty much gives you a good understanding of society and how it works. As the teacher, like you're more, if you can successfully manage a preschool classroom as a teacher, you can do anything. That's how I feel. And how can I say this? When you're teaching children that young, you also start to see why people develop the way that they do as adults.
Right.
So I liked it. I wouldn't trade it in for the world. That was a great experience.
So how long you did it? How long you
2.5 years.
And then what made you leave?
Well, it was a bunch of things that made me leave. For one, with teaching, of course, it's a rewarding side to it, but it's also a side that people don't know about, a very political side. It's kind of like, you kind of like have to align, you have to choose a side. Once you get into the position of being a teacher for a district, you have to choose a side as to whether you want to be somebody who advocates for parents or if you want to be somebody that keeps your job and operates like everybody else. It's kind of like being a good cop, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're surrounded by people that aren't necessarily there for the right reasons. And then it's like, in order to put pressure on you, they want you to either conform to what they do, and I'm not like that. I would rather help the parents and the students. Right. But that's really why I left. It was a lot of politics going on. There's some things that I'm not going to, discuss too much because I just don't want to, say too much about it. Right. But I would say that just knowing that exists, it just makes me want to push my purpose more to help the parents and the students.
Okay.
Not just
that's a good transition to what I think you're doing now. What is your purpose now?
All right, my purpose now is just to teach parents about how to navigate the school system. I do have a blog that I'm developing right now that pretty much is sharing content, sharing things that parents need to know about the school system, certain things that aren't talked about, things that they need to look out for, ways they can advocate for their child. So that's really my biggest purpose. Through that blog, I also educate people about financial literacy because I feel like for our community, upward mobility is something that's very important because that's going to give us access to more things, especially a better education. And so that's my thing. I'm really big on teaching people about financial literacy. I give them the resources that they need to also increase their credit scores and manage their finances. So that's pretty much my purpose. And also, besides teaching parents about how to navigate the school system, really trust. That's my biggest thing. I want people to be more trusting of themselves and of their families, so that way they can kind of live better.
Right. So it's called Indigo's Corner. Indigo's Corner.
Yeah, the IndigosCorner.com.
So why you call it that, Indigo's Corner?
Good question. Well, a couple of years ago, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I discovered this term called indigo, and it's pretty much describing people who have like a special purpose. Right. It can be seen in a lot of different ways. Some people think that it's a spiritual term. Some people say that it's just something that people have made up just to categorize themselves. You know what I mean? But to me, it was significant to me because I really felt like I resonated with the term indigo because I do feel like I'm somebody who is very emotional, very intuitive, and I do think I have a higher purpose just to help people.
Right.
And that's really what I want to do. Sometimes with being someone who considers yourself an indigo, you can face depression, anxiety, stress, and stuff like that. And so because now that's a movement that I created, through the term, I also want to teach people how to kind of like overcome depression and overcome stress and anxiety. So I do have a movement called the Stress Less Movement as well, and that can be accessed through my blog.
What's it called?
It's called the Stress Less Movement.
The Stress Less Movement. Okay. So me and you are kind of like parallel and similar because in my organization we do workshops of mental health for our kids. Because a lot of times I have mental health issues. I had speech therapy from second grade through high school, and that speech therapy affected my mental health. So then I started took mental health therapy in my 30s. So because of issues that I didn't resolve in my 20s. So was compounded that mental health, and then financial literacy. I didn't get aggressive with financial literacy until about a couple years ago. My credit score was really, really bad, and I got with someone last year through another program, Sonia Lewis. She does like this debt thing, the loans, and she did a special on Black Friday. And they'll help you credit score like that. So I got with them. I bought them Black Friday. I took a risk. I told myself I was gonna fix this credit score. I'm gonna fix this stuff, and for a year I tried to avoid it, but God was like, time to do it. Got this person, did the work they told me to do. My credit score is at almost 700 right now.
Oh, that's dope.
And over a year.
Congratulations.
It was like bad, like 5 something. It was like horrible. But now it's like God permission to do this, and you gotta take the right people that see people that you seem obsessed doing it, and now you gotta take a chance. Sometimes you gotta invest in yourself. Okay. So basically, like I kind of saying with you, what we were trying to do this year was we were doing great work in our schools with mental health, financial literacy, and but now we want to talk to the parents. We want to advocate the parents about it, and we teach our kids this great content, and they get home and the parents not into it. Then it's like so. Right. So we did try some parent workshops for the schools I worked with, but none of the parents got on. So I don't know. School is great, the virtual thing. I don't know what it is. So one of my main focuses 2021 is trying to hopefully, Lord, get back to schools and also have a place where parents learn mental health and deal with financial literacy, things that our parents need to be navigate through this year, so they can better prepare themselves when they get those moments where they can actually fix and build themselves. And hopefully we can partner, we can work together, because I think that will be great, because I am looking for partners to help we ramp our brand so we can be more schools, be more intentional, and hopefully we can do more great things virtually and in person in the community 2021, because 2020 took a lot of stuff access out to certain places, and that we couldn't do events for the community, but we are doing something with that. So my plan is also do some MLK Day. So I'll let you know about that too. So we can, for the past 2 years, MLK Day, I actually, how MLK Day do like murals and paintings like that. Right. So almost 2 years ago, I'm at my school I worked with, the principal let us do MLK Day at our school. Like, it wasn't planned, it was just asked me to do a project. I was like, sure, I'll do it. And they paid for the school. We had to pay for nothing. All I had to do was bring the food in. They paid for lunch. I bought breakfast. I bought it and then on that day it was 10 degrees. That was the day with 5 degrees outside. But we still had 50 people come out.
That's good.
So I didn't want to do paintings. I want to do something different. I want to do workshops, and find lyrics and mental health and stuff for the kids. And the people loved it. So we did the same thing next year, this past year. So hopefully this year we do probably more informal. So like in terms of more of like virtually, so breakout rooms for my parents like that. So I'm gonna plan something over the break so we can do it because I want something where parents can join us. They can get to know about you, your journey, and then have those great conversations. You know what I mean? Just maybe no rotation. You know, something they can join them for free. Maybe have some giveaways. You know, so they won't be like, okay, as some music in between. Like we can find a way how we can actually, you know, make it informal, entertaining for them the next couple hours, for hours. So, you know, so not looking at the computer, just maybe get involved, maybe quick Kahoot, games on there, maybe do a share screen, you know, something that can get them excited. So, so what is next for Akilah Beasley? What's next for you?
Wow, that's a good question. I actually have something that I'm coming out with, a project. It should be out by spring. It's actually a curriculum teaching parents how to help their children manage their emotions and also increase their executive functioning skills.
All right, explain that session. Explain that with the lab.
So the executive functioning skills are just like basic skills that you need to be able to make decisions, to be able to plan goals, and to be able to achieve goals. So it could be as little as listening or following directions, and it could be something as big as goal setting. But you want to make sure that your child has those skills so that when they become an adult, you know for sure that they can manage themselves and they can actually really manifest things, as opposed to just you know, wanting to be encouraged or, you know, wanting to be nurtured. Now I can take that need and actually make it into something that's tangible, as opposed to me just not living up to my full potential. So that's kind of like the goal of the curriculum, is to help parents guide their children through that, so that by the time they're, you know, 18, you know, the parents feel like, okay, I've taught my child what they need to know in order to survive, in order to make good, sound decisions for themselves.
Wow. Okay. Say this in the spring?
Yep, in the spring.
Okay. So when that book comes out, I definitely want you to be part of Artist Cafe. So I do Artist Cafe. I bring authors that come talk about their books. So hopefully by the time spring comes, we be in person, so we can sell your books and make some money. You know? Right. Yeah. So then also, what is two more questions? What does self-care look like for you? Self-care look like for you?
That's good. That's good. Self-care to me definitely looks like being able to make sound decisions for yourself that don't involve other people's opinions. Self-care also looks like being able to be healthy, like literally be healthy, feel healthy, and even in your mind, not just your body. And then I guess the last thing for me would be success. And I think everybody has their own definition of success. But whatever you see for yourself and for your life, if you're constantly trying to achieve that each and every day, that's self-care.
Right.
So you could just neglect yourself.
Right. Okay. So where people can find you for more information about your blog or about you?
Okay. You can follow me on Instagram, or I have a Facebook like page as well. It's called La Maverick. It's spelled LAMAVERIQ. That's my social media handle, pretty much. I call myself La Maverick because I'm a maverick. I do things differently. So
okay, I'm going to that.
And you can follow my blog, www.theindigo'scorner.com. And that's pretty much it. I'm also on YouTube at theindigo'scorner.com.
Okay. All right, wonderful. So, Akilah Beasley, thank you so much for being a guest on my show. Because I saw you on Facebook. I was like, no, I gotta get her here since I suffering. I don't know suffering. And like, she has something I can bring to the table, help parents out here. So, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And we got another guest coming up. So, Zoom. So for those who watch the video, please hope share comments that you inspired, feel inspired, because share this video with the parents as well, though, because we try to see the black business owners. We're trying to give you information and content to help our parents, going forward with financial literacy and mental health. At the end of this year, going to 2021. So please follow and support it. I'll support information out there, and also be watching that book. That's coming in spring for the kids as well and the parents as well. So we'll take a short break. We're going to have our two guests, Akilah Carter and Taisha Williams, on Zoom. Give us about 5 or 10 minutes. We'll be back on for that interview conversation. Thank you all so much.
All right, bye. Thank you.